and welcome again to the weekly press conference. Last week we took on Mississippi Valley, down at Mississippi Valley. Thought we played well in all three phases. Defense got the first recorded shutout since 2012. It was good to see those young men come together and be able to celebrate a mark or a milestone for that defensive unit. Offensively, we for the second week in a row, we was able to run the football, able to protect, get the ball down the field, and thought it collectively was a solid game in all three phases.
Coach, I know you made mention of this on your teleconference about how Southern is 0-9, but they played people tight.
Texas Southern is the best looking 0-9 team I've ever seen. They have about 40 plus transfers. It's just the chemistry that they're missing. As you look at them offensively and defensively, pound for pound, they're the best looking football team, probably the best skilled team that we've faced all year. With the quarterback who's very elusive, dual threat, have three receivers. All of them are very talented guys, great ball skills defensively. Big, solid defensive front that flies around, and secondary is doing a good job. One of the things that, we last week against Grambling, they lost the game, but they had 637 yards offense. So, they are a threat. And a lot of the games that they've had, that they've been in, have gone to the wire. Our key is to make sure that they just don't, come alive this week.
We know you guys addressed some of the stuff that were kind of breakdowns at Magic City last week, especially in the secondary. Y'all got a number receiver and SWAT coming in. Some things y'all try to throw at him to slow him down, whether it's being physical at the line, just different things.
Just contesting. We want to everywhere they move him around in all different spots, outside, inside, right side, left side. So we have to locate him, know where he's lining up, and make sure we have our best defender on that kid.
Coach, after the huge letdown in the Magic City Classic, how proud are you of your guys to come out this week and start as fast as they did, jumping out to that early lead?
You know what? After when you lose a game like that so tough, the first couple of days of practice, the coaches were dragging the players. It was a big letdown. With all the things that went into the game, not just losing the game, but just all the other things that went into factors of the outcome. And then to have them to go into Valley, everybody know that's a very rural area down there. We had to stay an hour and 15 minutes away. It was a lot of that went in before we even took the field. The field was probably the worst that I've seen this year, but they had severe rain down there for the last couple of days, so we knew that the playing surface was going to be bad. So, and then to have you guys come out where they, the year passed, where they played flat, but they come out and play together. I was very proud of them.
Coach, how important is it for y'all to get on the board fast? Out of the 47 points that Southern is giving up, about 15 of those 47 coming in the second quarter, but 25 of that's coming in the first half. So how important is it just to get on the board fast?
The key is this, what you're seeing is we have to keep them consistent to their stats. Their stats, once they settle down after the first quarter, they tend to play some good football. Everybody's been able to score on them within the first two quarters, and we have to find a way to do the same and get them from playing behind and doing some things that they don't want to do, which is throwing the ball every down.
And Coach, coming in, like you just said about this week, you had to carry the guys through. How big is it for you to have the guys not look at their 0-9?
They see that tape, and the thing you just have to do is continue to point out that this is a team that can beat you. If you can go out there you want and play the 0-9, you're going to come back sad. You have to go out there every week and play these guys as if they're the SWAC champs. And they have a lot of capability of going from being from 0-9 to 9-0. Those are the caliber players that they have, that they are a good football team.
Coach, how dangerous is it to play a team that has nothing to lose? Simple as that.
You just said it. They don't have anything to lose. So the key is, let me play my best game. All the pressure of we need to win this and need this to happen. All that stuff is out. Right now, those guys are just playing because they love the game. It's another opportunity to go out and play, and it's hard going against a wounded soldier.
Last week, Coach KD had probably his most efficient game throwing. When you look at the completion percentage there, he was comfortable. I want some things that you like that you saw out of him on Saturday.
You know, just was the managing the game. The prior KD would have to throw an interception before he got going. So, we try to create a situation where he threw the interception in warm up, so then that way we can have a better game. So, it's just, all these guys got their own thing to get them going, but we can't get going off a turnover. So, and he just played a great game. He managed the game. We did a lot of things. Coach Blackwell did some things. You have to get guys going. So he did some things to get them primed to where he could feel comfortable with his protection and then get the ball down the field. Stephen?
Do you see when we talk about coming off the Magic City loss, what kind of, are you seeing the growth that you wanted to see? I mean, you talked about rallying off that loss, going to the Valley and performing like they did, but did you see everything that you wanted to see following the Magic City game in practice, in the game, and now you're continuing to see it in practice?
Yeah, I mean, it was coming off of that game, it was just hard for myself, the coaches, and everybody. So and it was like, what do you do now? And as I continue to stress to the coaches, as leaders, we can find 100 reasons why we lost that game. The key is now we can't join into the misery or the moping with the players. We gotta get out front and be front and center. And again, as I always state, that this game is a carryover to life lessons. That sometimes things gonna happen. It's not gonna happen your way, but you still got to go out and feed your family. You still got to get up, go to work, and still got to produce. So the lessons that it will teach are more long term than short term. To be able to go out and play the game of football, the thing we stressed again is that if you love the game, you'll go out and play. But it's so many other things and values that will teach these young men how to be better men down the road. So it's tough as they process it and learn it as coaches, because it's your livelihood, it's everything else that go into it. But when you understand the purpose of why you play and the purpose of why you coach, it makes it a little bit easier to swallow.
You guys are on this long stretch of playing away from home. What do you guys as coaching staff do to keep the guys rested up and prepared for all these road trips and road swings?
Again, I think our preparation schedule is probably one of the better ones. As we practice in the mornings, we're able to get our work done before we end up moving the team to the visiting areas, where opposed to last year, we had to find a place to practice. That then entailed us pushing meeting times back later, and players not getting to bed till late. Having a great strength staff that helps reinforce the curfew. And guys understanding that, and guys just being more accountable. So not so much of watching them, is that we have a lot of players that have matured in the program, that some of the things that they tried to do, they don't do anymore. A lot out of the 66 guys that we'll carry to Houston, 42 of them have already been to Houston. So the awe of the city and being in Houston is gone. And that's what happens with the matriculation of players and being able to maintain and retain them. Titus Howard, he's going to meet us out at the game, so I know a lot of guys will be, as they say, hyped over that. And to be able to see one of your own is going to be good. But more importantly, we got a football game to play.
Coach, after watching film, at least up to this point, what are just a couple things y'all need to do, a couple keys?
We got to defend the deep ball. That kid is number one in the conference, Connolly, for a reason. They're throwing him a lot of vertical balls, and you look at it and say, oh, well, it's just the vertical routes, but it's one guy open, two guys open, three guys open. So they're getting behind people, they're getting away from folks in coverage, and you have to mirror that with defending the pass, and you have to do that by putting guys in the right place, but also getting pressure on that quarterback.
You guys been in contact this season? I know he's really busy, y'all are busy, but after these games, does he ever call you or call any of the guys?
Yeah, we started off, calling each other, back and forth. If I watch him play, I say, hey, hey, look, I saw this, whatever. And he'll, watch us, congratulations, coach. But more importantly, he talks to Carl and those guys all the time. You'll find that with coaching, I really don't talk to a whole lot of people a whole lot. You don't really have the time. You either watching tape or you trying to put out a situation. I mean, it's tough having 110, 115 young men and being accountable for them. A lot of that time go to, hey, let me see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I heard you missed class. It's a lot to go in it, so I really don't have time to play with Titus on the phone. So, I mean, I'll watch him. I watched him in London, and I knew that was great for him and coming back and playing. So I got a chance to watch a half of that before we came to work to watch our tape. So, proud of him, but, he understands it. He's been in the trenches with us, so he knows a lot of work to go into it, and we'll catch up with him in the offseason. All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.